This is not just someone of some other profession who's changing religions. It isn't like you're a doctor and you come home from work on Friday and you join the Catholic Church on Saturday or Sunday and then you go back to church on Monday. Because if you're a priest, of course, if you join the Catholic Church, you're out of a job. You lose that. Even more than that, many Episcopalian priests, of course, live in church-supplied housing, just like Roman Catholic priests do. Mm-hmm. And so for a man to say, well, I need to become a Roman Catholic priest when he's an Episcopalian priest, means he's got to find a new job. And he's got to move, because he's going to lose his house. And so there's going to be a lot of disrupt in his life and in his family.
Very good.
Now, we lived in southern Maryland in a beautiful home on 3 acres of land, pastoring a historic parish. It was an idyllic situation. The pastor that had preceded me had been there for 35 years because it was such a nice place. Who would ever want to leave it?
Yes.
So you can imagine some of the difficulties that happened when I sat my wife down, who had no clue that this was coming, and said, "Dear, I think that I need to become Catholic." And that felt like a bombshell kind of in her plans of our life. And so we did. I resigned that parish in 1998. We moved from southern Maryland here to Hyattsville. We were received right here at St. Mark Evangelist, Father Alvarez. And we're very warmly welcomed here. And we went through a major transition in our lives. It took several years for us to get back on an even beam. Now, I was very blessed because I had just finished my PhD at Catholic University, and they were looking for a new hire in the department, and so I was able to secure that, and I've been teaching there ever since. So for me, I was very blessed. For some of the others who have gone through this process, it's been much more difficult. And so we have now these Catholic priests, married Catholic priests, who have gone through often some difficult transitions to get there. Well, after becoming Catholic and going through that, then we have this process where the application is made to the CDF. And if you're tentatively approved, then the next step is a process of assessment and education to ensure that the priest applicant has been taught kind of the things you need to know to be a priest to the same standard as a man who's graduating from one of our seminaries. And so there's an assessment process that every pastoral provision priest has to go through. And in most cases it consists of meeting with a committee of seminary professors and theologians and responding to both written and oral questions from them, which they review, and then they come up with an opinion. It's kind of like a diagnostic test.
Yeah.
And they say, well, in canon law, we think that you need to study here, or you might need to take this course in the seminary, you might need to read some books.